Welcome guys to a Meta Twins video. Today we'll be covering Clementine's Nightmare. Clementine's Nightmare is a game that's been in the works for 3 years by a company called Petrol Labs or Petrol Advertising. And if you know who they are, you know this is crazy and it's about to be a blue chip in the making. This game has a ton for you to look into. I've done a ton of research into the game and into the team and watched their AMA so you wouldn't have to. So if you want to know all the information and why this game is gonna blow up the way Lubium did, just stay tuned to watch the video. That being said, this is not financial advice, and let's get started. So when you first go to the website, you can scroll down to the bottom and go to their Discord immediately, and that's usually what I do. I go to the Discord before I even go through the page. Honestly, you just want to get as many links and connections open so you can learn as much as you can about the team. It's a clear red flag if they have like zero information except like a low quality Twitter account. But as you can see, this is the artwork or context art for it, and it's really good, and it's for a really good reason. Wait until I get to it. When it comes to Petrol Advertisement or Petrol Labs, it's gonna be great. But to get started, this game, when you go into the community, they have a really mature community of gamers that have been gaming for a long time, but also investors, because people know that this game is a blue chip incoming. But why? What do people think that? Well, one of the first reasons is because of its stylistic integrity. This art style didn't come about by somebody just doing one Blender drawing or one drawing and putting it into Blender. According to the AMA, these took a couple of tries, and by a couple of tries, they're being really humble. Because if you study game design, or if you've been on a game design class, which I've been for years, it takes time to come with a model that actually portrays the vision of everybody in the team and that people outside the team also resonate with and enjoy. And Clementine, the girl in this photo, has been getting a lot of good reception online as of recent. So yes, it's stylistic integrity. But another reason why it's doing good is because it's game dignity. Because Clementine's Nightmare was initially just going to be a game, like all the other games or all the other well-made games. And it does a great job of that, openly saying that this was going to be a regular game before it turned into the crypto NFT side of things. The game has stylistic integrity. It has a prioritization of the game itself, so that not only people that are into crypto but also regular players can just play and enjoy the game without having to stake anything. And lastly, it's being run by Petrol Labs. Petrol Labs is this huge company that most people don't even know about. But if we go into Petrol Advertising is the company that runs all the advertising for all the big games that you've basically seen. They've worked with Nintendo, they've worked with Activision, and they've worked with movies, crazy movies. So you guys have all heard of Call of Duty, I'm sure. They've run almost every campaign for Call of Duty that you've ever seen. I mean, that's like a crazy thing to do on its own. But they've also ran things like, Assassin's Creed, Valhalla. And if you were around if you were on the internet whenever that game was about to come out, you were getting advertisement for that, and quality advertisements at that. Same for Far Cry. This company does not fall short. Every UFC campaign they've done in the franchise when it comes to advertising and the public image that the game is gonna have, they've done it. This is Cookie Run, one of their recent phone games, which Clementine's Nightmare is gonna become. It's gonna become a PC game, but it's also going to become eventually a phone game, because that's where the gaming scene is moving. I mean, this is examples of how they film some of the Call of Duty scenes and all that kind of stuff. This is a really quality company, and they've worked with all these companies. Now, it may seem like a lot of bragging, but some of these are put together, like Nintendo and Sega. They were working with the same contract when it came to making the Mario and Sonic games. It was Nintendo and Saga. It was basically the same thing. They say they've worked with Tencent and Riot Games. Tencent owns Riot Games, so technically if they work with Tencent, they can put Riot Games as well. So it's a little bit of a brag over here. But one of the cool things that I found while researching this company is that the entire team is basically, doxed. I mean, if we go to their family, scroll down, you can see, well, first of all, this is the face, Alan Hunter. You can see him in the AMA that they have right here. He's right here along with one of the writers. But back to him, you can read all about Alan Hunter, and Ben Granados wasn't in the AMA, but he'll probably be in future AMAs. And then this is the entire team. I mean, all of them are docs. The entirety of them are docs. And within the AMA, you see a lot of the people that are going to be, developers chime in, people that are prolific in the crypto and NFT space, developers that worked at Coinbase, making their backend and their transaction system and all that cool stuff that you need to get done. These are a couple good writers that they mentioned that you can look into their work. When you first make a game, or when you send out a product, it has two parts to it. One is the advertising of the product, and the other one is the value of the product. When it comes to advertising, they're gonna kick it out the park. There's no question about it. Just the drawings of Clementine alone and the entire team have been going basically viral on Twitter. And I'll show you their Twitter in just a minute. Their Twitter, they have 129,000 followers already. This is without any preview trailers at all. And if you guys know about Illuvium was nowhere near this amount of eyes whenever it first got started. But moving on onto the more meaty parts of things, if you really want to make money just from a quick investment and getting out, just having an advertisement company do it alone is a quick way to get in. Now I want to compare this game to Illuvium. This game hasn't posted anything too exciting yet, but I wanted you to take a look at Illuvium's page and look at when they first released any footage of their game. Before they had holograms and NFT limited editions, and that was nice, all dandy and cool. And Clementine's Nightmare has the same thing. If you go to their Discord, you can see this guy as a NFT form, and you can see all of them in NFT form, and that's kind of cool. But when Illuvium did this, they barely got any hits, and their price was like at zero. That's around this time. That's around this time when they're posting all this NFT stuff. Once they posted their early preview trailer, that's when their stock or their charts started going wild. So this is June, and this is when they posted the first early preview trailer, and look how fast since June the thing just skyrocketed all the way to like $1,000 or almost $2,000 per Illuvium coin, which was crazy. Keep in mind that as I make this video, Clementine hasn't released any game footage, and they're about to go through their minting process in their phase 1. Now, another question that you guys may have is what's the game like? The game is very story driven, according to the developers, because it is a game that they want people outside of the crypto space to also be able to enjoy. And I think that's a great way to go about it. They also have a whole bunch of game mechanics, and the overall description of the game, as the people in the AMA described it, was an action game with a good story. And also you can play with friends, you can play against friends, and you can play events. And that leads me to almost their phase 2 or the NFT launch, and that's the pre-sale events. And because that reminds me of the play to earn system. Now, on the pre-launch, you won't have any play to earn. Obviously, that's what most people with common sense would do. They don't do earning money by paying ahead of time, because that just looks a lot more Ponzi scheme than all the other stuff. Even though whenever it launches publicly, it will still be, the first people that get in first are gonna benefit the most. But it's okay, because if they do this well, they're gonna be so big when they first launch that it's gonna be basically an even price for people that for a wide variety of people that first got into the game. Now, when the game does launch, the way that the play to earn is gonna work is gonna be by ink tokens, and the ink tokens you're gonna get by by playing multiple different aspects of the game. Now, a couple of downsides is how many NFTs there will be, or that's what some people point out. On the first collection there'll be 5,000, on the second one there'll be 10,000, so that's 15,000 in total. But keep in mind, this is an NFT game, If it was an NFT project, 15,000 would be a lot. But since it's a game, 15,000 is not really a lot, especially because the people that participate in a certain community, because of their art style and because VIP passes you can get into their community, it's a lot less than the people that are gonna be playing a game because they enjoy a game. Like, a game has a lot more value to offer, or immediate value to offer, than having a special VIP pass in a community for owning their NFTs. So I think even though 15,000 is a lot, is not a lot when it comes to a video game or NFT game. Another thing that may concern people is that if the game is story driven, and even though it's well advertised, at the end of the day, will it be a good long-term investment? I reckon so. I think it's going to be a good long-term investment, because as a company that runs advertising for all these different companies, you gotta be in the clouds to think, or you gotta be crazy to think that they don't have any connections with any of these big gaming studios that could help them at all whatsoever. Even on the low-key, maybe they don't even mention it, but they definitely have connections. Definitely have tons of connections. When you've worked with all these different companies, it invites trust, but you also have to be really, really wary where you spend your money in. So I understand people that have doubts whenever it comes to just advertising company making a NFT game or a game in general, and talking about how it's gonna be good. After all, they're advertising. Their job is to make it sound good. Because I really like the game, but I'm not gonna hold back from you any downsides that I possibly see. And in this side, I gotta give the points to the skeptics, because it is advertising companies. But if you do want to make a profit off of this, the fact that it is an advertising company is a good thing. Positive things about the game, negative things about the game aside, I don't think I have anything else to add. The game, I told you some of the bad things about the game, I told you some of the good things about the game, and I answered all the questions that I set up in the beginning. If you guys do have any questions down below, just let me know. I'll make sure to cover them and answer them for you. Feel free to do more research and inform people in the comment sections. But until then, guys, stay meta. Peace.